We have this. I think we are live. We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Quill and Sword. This is a game where a bunch of us creatives play some D&D together. It's 5th edition with a lot of mods, because we love some homebrew. We also love some Syrinscape. That's how we got our sound effects, and that's the cue for all my players to pull it up if they haven't yet. This is a dark fantasy campaign, so if horror and fantasy is maybe not your jam, you can check out SENITA or VERA's channels to watch some wholesome gaming with cursing, because we love that. I am going to roll a d10 as a d5, and we're going to let whoever it lands on fill us in on what happened last time. That is going to be a 3, so that's Robin.
Woo! Okay, great, because I don't remember a whole lot. I remember we were on a boat. I remember there was a creepy kid that wasn't a kid. I remember that we had to fight something, and I'm pretty sure SENITA gave birth to a dinosaur. I get to pick who I pass it to, because I'm going to pass it to SENITA, if so.
So, SENITA, tell us about this dinosaur that you apparently gave birth to.
It's a beautiful shape-shifting dinosaur, pterodactyl. It can go from small to big whenever I ask. And sorry, I got leftover mucus. And I have a specific bond with it that if I die, it dies. And we had to, unfortunately, what did we do? Battle some demons in a dreamlike state is what I vaguely remember what happened last time, and I'm gonna pass it to Vera.
So yeah, so the captain of the ship, who had sort of tricked the entity actually in control of everything into giving him control of the ship. He tried to kill us, initially kind of in our sleep, and then just in reality. That was a whole big thing. We actually, I'll step out of game for a minute and just say we handled him with a lot more ease than Steven had expected us to. If you have not seen that stream, you should go back and watch it. You can see on his face that moment of they weren't supposed to be able to counter that. That shouldn't have happened.
It's so true.
But yeah, so he's dead. Did the ship break apart after that, or am I making stuff up?
No, the ship didn't break apart.
Okay. So I don't know. Marissa, what else you got?
Yeah, so we fought the ship's captain, who was a warlock, and I believe his patron was the Raven Queen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we fought him, honestly better than we should have been able to, which was bizarre. I'm happy it happened, because we all know that we are in TPK territory now with the game, as far as we've gone. But yeah, so we are now at a point where the captain is dead, and Edmund, it's Edmund, not Edward, right?
Edmund, yep.
Edmund, creepy little needle teeth boy, he is still with the ship, and we don't know if that's, if we are, since we're no longer guests of the captain, how things are really going to go down henceforth. So yeah, with that, I'll pass it to Megan.
Well, I mean, people cover just about everything. A few details. The ship itself, Edmund, is an entity of the Raven Queen, and so she was able to directly affect us while we've been on the ship, which is not something she's been able to do in the normal world. We're kind of in this, half spirit world as we travel, and Tempest broke out Counterspell, which was the thing that made Steven upset.
Yep.
And Fly. So that was great, except that during this battle, Tempest had an anti-magic bracelet slapped on her, and she now can't do anything because she's 100% magic. all of it.
Mhm.
She's all magic.
Right, I got the bracelet.
So now there's the bracelet that we got to get off somehow.
Yep. That is a great place to cut to the intro. And we are back, and Vera is going to remind us of one other thing that was like kind of a big deal that happened.
Kind of a big deal. Charlie has a body again. He is no longer an essence trapped in a cursed sword, and that also means the sword's gone, and I'm back to effectively starting equipment. Like, I'm happy. I'm real glad Charlie's got a body. He's a cool dude. I like him, but also Steve the horse is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A sweet
Steve
baby
the
boy.
horse is okay. And you guys, all of you, wake up in the morning to the sound of the ocean and to the you wake up to the bright dawn. It is foggy outside. There's like this silvery roiling mist that just sort of creeps in tendrils all over the deck of the ship. Who gets up first? I am guessing it's one of the two elves, but I could be wrong.
Oh no. Tempest is all messed up. Still sitting there with the anti-magic is just not doing well. Just laying in bed. I mean, Shadar Kai are particularly magical. So, being that whole like undead, partly undead thing. Yeah, it's not doing well for her.
Okay.
So I guess that means I'm coming. I mean, I'm awake now.
Okay. All right. So you do see that Edmund is standing in the doorway at the top of the stairs, as he does. And you, with your eyes, I don't even need to make you make a perception check. You have a wild perception. You see in the distance this mountain. And it is a proper mountain, seemingly just sticking up out of the ocean. It's a little weird in that way. And as you come closer, you start seeing these spires jutting up from the mountain. And at first they look small like needles, but they're actually pretty big. And as you continue arriving, you see this almost Minas Tirith style city that spirals up a mountain jutting up out of the water. And you hear distant screeches and roars, almost like lions and eagles. And sometimes you can't really tell whether you're hearing a lion's roar or an eagle's screech. Almost like it's kind of both. And around this time, one of the normal resters probably gets up. Who would that be?
I feel like Nim's an early riser.
Okay. So, Nim, you come up on deck and you go ahead and give me a perception roll to see what of these things you notice.
Ooh, 22.
22.
Nim is a morning person.
Nim is a morning person, apparently. Nim, you also see pretty much everything I just described.
Mm-hmm.
And who would be up next between Masquerade and Wisp, do we think?
Wait, real quick, Steven, would I know anything about this place just with my diplomatic background?
You might. You might know something about this place with your diplomatic background. Give me history, we'll say.
18.
18. Okay.
I'm rolling real good now. I'm probably going to die by the end of this
You know that
session.
this city, and it is a city proper, but it is called Darkwing Hold.
Mm-hmm.
It is sort of like the hub where the primarily nomadic gargoyles will sort of collect. It's like a place that is like a crossroads for them. They'll fly in for a few days and then do whatever business and fly out. So, you know that gargoyles are primarily nomadic unless they have a specific location they tend to protect. And you also would know that this city is normally not necessarily hostile to other peoples, but it is the kind of place that, because it is not governed by any proper government entity, there is a degree of danger, an element of danger to it. This is where a lot of those who come that aren't gargoyles are usually more of the unsavory types, and there is a reason that there are certain parts of the city that are only accessible by flight.
Okay. Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
When we enter the city, I want to, like, have my mask off and be, like, all in gray mode.
Okay.
I'm just going to very blatantly be a changeling right now as we walk in.
Okay. Okay, sure thing. Wisp, then, as you also see, you guys are approaching this area. Are there any preparations you, or anyone else for that matter, would like to make?
Probably not, but given how high my history and Arcana stats are, I'd like to roll to see if I can pick up anything else that Nim wouldn't have already known.
Sure, go for it.
Nuts. 14.
14. You know most of what Nim knows. You don't know the bit about the crime. Okay. So, but you do know there are places in the city that are only accessible by flight.
Gotcha.
So, you guys dock, and Edmund comes up, and this is the first time you see him step out onto the deck. And he looks up at all of you and says, in his 10-year-old form, "I'm really sorry for what happened. I didn't mean for any of it." And he meets specifically Tempest's eyes when he says that last bit.
It's, Tempest coughs. Understandable. No one is responsible for what she does. Only her.
Well, I've taken you here, but unfortunately I can't stay in a dock to midnight. That's part of the deal. And he sort of just gestures to the entirety of the ship. But I wish all of you luck.
Thank you.
Good travels to you.
Nim offers him a parting cinnamon roll.
He will take it, and as he opens his mouth to bite it, you see the needle teeth come back, and you give me a perception check.
22.
you see a blue forked tongue, just like almost like a snake, like roll out of his mouth and grab the cinnamon roll really quickly and just chomp it.
Remember, Edmund, we all had... We can't help what we were made. We can't help what people tried to make us. But every day we get to choose who we are. And you have a choice every day of who you are. So choose to be you whenever you can.
Give me a persuasion check.
Let's see. 12 plus 6, 18.
You see tears just welling in this little kid's eyes, and he says, I really wish that were true.
It is. It is for me. It is for you.
It is for mortals. I'm not mortal. But, here. And he hands you what looks like an inkwell with a quill that's sort of affixed to the top, so you'd have to like unscrew it to remove the quill part. Mm-hmm. Write a missive if you need a ride.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will.
So that is the Ship Summoner's Missive ink. It has 4 uses, so you guys have 4 uses of the ship. And he looks up at the spires and he's like, well, good luck. Be safe. Apparently, this city is full of all sorts. So be ready.
You be safe too.
Thank you. And he shifts into the old man as he walks back down the stairs, the creaky wooden stairs. And once you guys get off the ship, you see the boat of its own accord with the ghosts starting to form, just pulling out of the docks and sailing into the fog. And you guys are now facing the massive stone gates, or iron gates on a stone wall of Darkwing Hold.
Well, that's welcoming.
Should we knock?
You think they'll hear us?
I think we should just go in. That's how cities work, right?
So, the gate is open and unlocked right now.
Yeah. Just gonna go in.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys go on in.
Tempest is definitely dragging a little bit.
Okay. Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It did. I know.
So yeah, Anu, what's yours? Just because Anu has like the ridiculous one and
Yeah,
has expertise in it, so I have to ask.
Yeah. I know my limit. I know my character's limitations.
What am I rolling?
You're not rolling
You're not-
anything. I just want your passive perception.
Oh, passive perception.
Uh-huh.
My eyes are watery. It's 22.
22. Okay. Yeah. Tempest totally just got pickpocketed.
Y'all are so bad at this.
Like, there was... You watch as this... he looks like... in fact, you can't really tell what race he is. You only see this massive beak protruding out of a drawn hood and a gray cloak. And this figure swipes the purse right away from Tempest and scuttles down a dark alley.
I'm gonna go follow him
Okay.
and just say in the speaker that only we can hear that a pickpocket is afoot.
Okay.
Cool. I'm going to transfer my coin purse to the inside of my tunic.
Okay.
Nina's going to put her hands in her apron pockets, so she always has hands on what she's got.
Okay.
Tempest will do nothing because she's not in on the network.
I thought
Generally, Wisps things are on inside pockets anyway because it makes for a more streamlined look, but just, a quick pat-down check.
Okay. So only Tempest was pickpocketed so far.
I mean, my stuff is always hitting because I'm a pickpocketer myself. So I mean,
yeah, that's fair. You follow this person, and they duck down corridor after corridor before arriving at you could call it a door. It's really more like a bunch of half-rotted wooden planks and some driftwood that's been crudely nailed together to make the semblance of a door on a dilapidated adobe-style hut that seems to not actually be part of the rest of the buildings here, but rather sort of tacked onto the side of a building so that it has one wall that's a proper stone wall. And this, you would presume, at least a feminine presenting person in a dress. But what's interesting is their features are black feathers. In fact, you could mistake this person for about a 4-foot-tall crow or raven, if you wanted. And she pokes her large beak out of the doorway to the hooded figure, and they start chattering in this garbled sort of bird-like chattering. Just... And you see them dump out the contents of Tempest's purse on the sidewalk as about 4 other little tiny birdlings whose feathers are like a stark white in contrast to the black feathers of the adults come out and just look around all of it. They're dressed in hanging rags that barely cover any of them. And they marvel for just a moment at the coins that plink on the ground. And then you hear the hooded one go, "Well, what kind of money is this? This isn't real money."
people money.
And they all whirl, and the children all sort of like, "Eep!" and like scurry behind the lady. And you see the disappointment that was in her face turns to utter fear as these large black eyes just widen even more, looking at you. Please, whatever he took, we'll pay it back, honest. He didn't mean it.
Can you not use these coins here?
Go ahead and you don't even need to roll investigation. You can just see anew. They took the coin purse that has Tempest's money from other dimensions in it.
Oh.
They're not real coins here.
Oh.
They're valuable in other realities.
Tell you what. You put all that stuff back, and I got 2 gold coins for you.
What? And you see his beak just hangs half agape. What do I have to do for it?
Nothing. Just put the stuff back in the bag and give it to me.
And he shovels the coins very cautiously in a pile back into the bag, and then he sort of like holds it in his 2, just clutches it almost for dear life in his 2 little taloned hands as he waddles up to you, and then holds it up very slowly and flinches just a little bit if you move.
I just turn my palm over, and my other hand I hold out the 2 coins.
And he hesitates for a minute and just hovers his hand over the coins, and then snatches them very quickly and scuttles back to the door, and turns around and says, "Thank you."
You're welcome.
And he ducks into the house and shuts the door, and you hear chattering once more in a language I'm pretty sure you don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that. I'm just gonna pocket the thing and head back.
Okay. So you head back. You guys, Anu's really slippery, so I'm going to ask everybody to make a perception roll to see if you even noticed if Anu was gone.
Yeah.
We're going to set that at DC 15. I think that's pretty fair.
I got a 22 again,
Ooh,
which is magical.
So you notice.
So
Dang,
I did see it.
I got a 19.
Okay.
I rolled an 18 raw.
Wow. Tempest.
We're wasting our good rolls.
Wait. Okay, I need a roll for what here?
Perception.
I rolled a 12.
12. So Tempest is the only one who didn't notice that Anu was gone. So Anu, you can describe how you want to approach, because Tempest doesn't see you coming at least.
I'm gonna show up behind Tempest's shoulder and just go, "You lost something."
And she pulls out one that looks like what we would think of like as a stick of gum, with little gold, shiny gold like lines on it. And she says, of all the money I've ever collected, this is the most useless. It is not, in fact, gold. It has, I don't know, like a spell of money. Not money, but a spell that could be worth money if you gave it to the right person. Some kind of cryptography.
Doesn't sound very fungible.
No, it wasn't fun at all. Neither was that entire timeline. Reality.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have a hard time keeping it together. I'm sorry.
No, that was very good.
So.
But I have to use something. But I'll have to use something, because I need a sword. The first time in as long as I can remember.
Well, I don't think that's gonna work here.
If we can find somewhere to get a rest, I can help get that off of you.
You have gotten a long rest, because you guys long rested before you got
Oh, okay, yeah,
here.
no, let me give it a shot. Let me try to eat it.
Okay. Roll Arcana.
Let's go. Oh. Arcana.
Uh-huh.
I need to actually funnel some points into that. Let's see what I get. Oh, hey, 19 plus 1 is 20.
That is what you needed. So, describe how this looks for us, please.
I just extend a gray hand and, flip it palm up, take Tempest's wrist, and then it just, starts unraveling in my hand. I disintegrate the bracelet and then, absorb it into my skin.
Oof. And as that happens, because Tempest is wearing, what has always looked like her half plate, right? Kind of armor, that she wasn't wearing on the boat. She was wearing, the very floofy leather and stuff, but it had looked like it didn't fit anymore. But now, as the bracelet dissolves, it transforms, running up her arm and down her body into that same poofy shirt and leather pants, and it fits well, and her color gets both better and worse at the same time. It looks more normal for her, and yet more tainted, as she always is.
And when that bracelet breaks, you and only you, Tempest, also hear not the initial instigator of it, but almost like the echo of her screaming, "No."
Boiled again.
Thank you. I enjoy being me so very much.
Yeah, same.
So very much.
And Masquerade.
Uh-huh.
I need a perception roll from you again as well.
Right. Let's do this on the internet because that actually rolls it for me. That's gonna be a 7, so probably not.
7. Okay. So, when you used your power, there was a really weird sensation. It was almost like everything's color became more vivid, just a little bit temporarily. And it was almost like you could smell clearer. You could hear without cotton in your ears. And it was just a very brief sensation, and it's gone.
Does anybody remember what synesthesia feels like? Never mind. We need to find an inn.
So, I need everyone to make an investigation or survival check, your choice. And we're going to take the middle roll, not the median, the middle of all of your rolls.
That will be a 21 for me.
10.
I got a 19.
Okay.
Ooh. Let's see. I got. You want the middle? We want the middle roll, right? Good. I have a 5.
Oh. So, what is Nim's roll?
I got a 13.
13 is the middle. So, you guys make your way about halfway up the city. And you see an inn that has a sign that looks like a shoulder and a bat wing coming off of the shoulder, but the bat wing is angled in a really weird way that almost looks painful to look at. And you hear references made as you're approaching this building to the broken wing.
Cool. I want to go in there.
Okay, so you open this door, and it does creak, pretty considerably actually, like it hasn't been oiled in a minute. And you see the clientele here is primarily non-human, actually. Everything is accessible via stairs or other sorts of things. You see that the main floor seems to be a combination of a dance floor and a bar, but there are no tables here. All of the tables are up on a balcony that encircles the entire place.
It's called the mezzanine. Sorry.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad you know that, because I didn't know what to call it.
It's my favorite architectural feature.
So, yeah.
That's a normal thing to have a favorite of.
That is really cool, actually. See, this is why I like playing with other nerds. So, you see a mezzanine above you, and it seems that there aren't rooms as such here, but rather everyone's just expected to sleep in one of these very comfy chairs that sort of encircle this bar/dance floor. And there is a hearth down here, and it's a tiered hearth. So there is a second hearth on the second floor that is directly connected to the first hearth.
Oh, I love that. What kind of music is playing?
So you hear someone plucking on a dulcimer, and when you look to see who it is, I want you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, fun.
Are you within, are you close to Tempest?
If you came in with me, yes.
Well, I think if we're all together, that you get +6 for my aura. To your Charisma saving throw.
24. You get to define how you react then. As you see another changeling sitting, plucking a dulcimer in the corner on this.
Just in the open.
Just in the open, another changeling.
I look completely fascinated by this and am immediately going to beeline to have a conversation with this person.
Okay.
Actually, never mind, they're performing. I think better of it halfway there and go to the bar instead, but like kind of give them this look like later.
Okay. So, oh, okay. They immediately notice you walk in, and you see they have, instead of pale white or gray skin. Theirs is a stark black. And they have this vivid purple eyeshadow over their eyes. And their makeup almost seems to draw a picture, almost like a painting on one side of their face that seamlessly melds with the contours of their face. It's a scene of like a mountainous region that starts the mouth and goes up to the ear. The ear itself is a sunset with vivid oranges and pinks. This person is wearing a jester's uniform, weirdly enough.
Well,
their jester's uniform has a stooping neckline with bells lining the neckline. And
that's so cool.
Their nails are literally shifting color with each note as they pluck in.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go get a drink. I'm gonna get a drink for Nim. I'm gonna go like point this out to Nim to make sure she also notices this. Like, but like trying to be at least a little bit subtle about it so as not to like give her away. Rather, you know.
Okay.
I promise I'm not trying to out you. But like,
so Nim is just staring like,
yeah,
we
quiet.
can do that?
I mean, apparently we can here. We should definitely talk to them, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Do you wait? I have a question. So we found out that we have, you know, a grandmother in common, so that makes us cousins of a sort. Do you think this is also a cousin?
I'm not entirely sure I'd put it that way.
I mean, it's nice to have family, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, in like a broad stroke sense rather than a... Sure. Like, just the soul-crushing dying a little inside that is masquerade right now.
So,
and Nim picks up nothing.
So, Steven, I want to approach the changeling who is playing the music.
Uh-huh.
The dance floor, is it currently open, occupied, being used? What's the deal?
So you know it's a dance floor because there is a couple dancing, actually. You see one looks very anatomically similar to Seamus, the captain, with massive wings and a long tail with an arrowhead at the end. These very small horns that almost crown his head all around. And his dance partner is a moon elf. This moon elf has very short purple hair and vivid blue skin. And she is dressed in such a way that it seems that she is intended to be a part of the performance, as is he. They're wearing clothes that are very conducive to moving and to flowing after them without getting in their way as they're doing these moves.
Okay. So, you tell me if you need me to roll anything and what, for what I'm going to try and communicate without words to the individual playing the music.
Okay.
I'm basically trying to communicate, may I take space on the dance floor, or should I just let you do your thing?
So, you approach, and as you ask for this consent, there's not necessarily a word for it, but there is definitely a concept specifically in your culture of this notion of like, it's like a slow dance with two people, but you can incorporate more people into it. And they start doing that with the three of you.
So, yes, yeah. Would you like me to roll for performance on this?
I would absolutely like you to roll for performance on this.
Right. 30.
30. Okay. You just describe for us how this goes. What happens?
So, given you said sort of mostly purplish colors for the other two who are on the dance floor.
Yeah.
So Wisp's thing is going to be initially sort of almost kind of circling around them before starting to weave in in and out from in between them, and occasionally like getting on their wavelength, and hands are happening, twirls are happening, and small motions ducking out of the way, coming in behind the other way, getting enough clearance to do a front forward flip and land on their hooves at a point of emphasis. Wisp has not gotten to show off in a while.
Okay. So you're showing off with your acrobatics and stuff, and because you rolled so well. That
having been said, is showing off, however, is not trying to completely overtake the dance floor, is taking moments of like pulling back and allowing the, where the eye would be drawn to go to the others at some point. So I'm not trying to take all the attention, but yes, there's still show offiness.
Okay. So as you step onto the dance floor, the tune changes that's being plucked, and it's really interesting because you watch as the changeling actually pops out 2 additional fingers on the ends of their hands, and they start plucking while tapping a rhythm on the dulcimer. And the combination of the 3 of you using your aerial acrobatics, the gargoyle at one point, he catches you and flips you across the floor where the elf catches you. And together you create an entire spectacle. And at one point you watch as the elf pulls out these like finger cymbals and starts clacking her own dinging melody to the music. And the entire crowd is just loving this. They erupt in roaring applause as you guys continue the act. You haven't even hit the crescendo yet. And eventually you hit the high point and you find yourself being thrown up to the rafters. And you are right next to the chandelier. What do you do?
Make a new crowd.
So just at the very top of it, like at that point before it starts to come back down, is there crystal on this chandelier?
There is. And when you ding it, you're not super perceptive, but you're into this, and it's part of the performance. You see the gargoyle man very subtly snap his fingers at the right moment in the rhythm, and the crystals erupt briefly in this pulse of rainbow lights. And the crowd just eats the entire thing up. And you land in a pose. The place is going absolutely wild. And this green-skinned tiefling gargoyle woman gets some drinks together, and she approaches the 3 of you. She dumps 1 tankard of water just on top of the gargoyle man, and then looks to the rest of you and holds out these drinks and says, "On the house for tonight."
I'll take it.
And she looks over to the changeling and says, "Lyrical, you might have a new one for your little dance troupe here." And the changeling just sort of, like, it's clear that they're trying to hide a smile. They're trying to look unimpressed. It's not working.
So I will take a bow, and I will take up. Is there a vacant seat, let's say, within 10 feet of the changeling who's playing the music?
There is not, but the changeling and the dancers get up for a break after that number. It took a lot out of them, and you see they go up to the what is it called, Robin? The mezzanine.
Mezzanine.
The mezzanine. They go up to the mezzanine and take a seat at a table that's clearly too large for their group.
I will follow and just sort of try and get a sense of whether or not I feel like I'm welcome to join them or not.
Okay. So you go up there, and immediately the elf catches your eyes and she beckons you with a finger over.
That works. I will approach.
You, my dear, wonderful dancer, are one of the best partners I've ever had. Or my husband, for that matter. And she gestures to the gargoyle man, and he just sort of like runs his hand through his hair, and he's like, yeah, it's been a while since we've had a good one like that.
I'm glad that I could offer you that. It has been a long time since I have not danced alone.
Well, and finally the changeling speaks. You know you don't have to dance alone. Ever again if you don't want to.
Too many long stories to give a full answer to that. The short one is, my current stay here is not planning to be extended. But I do hope I get to come back.
Well, I hope that for you too, because you are a mighty good dancer. What about your friends over there? I saw you come in with them. Would they like to join us?
I think they most likely would. I'm going to see if I can wave and get everybody else's attention. And be like, come on.
All right, cool. I'm gonna like grab drinks first and then come up.
Okay. So, you can order drinks from this green gargoyle lady. She looks at you briefly, and it's like you catch in her eye, and then she's clearly trying to not stare. But she's definitely eyeing you out of the corner of her eye as she's pouring the drinks. Because you're still presenting as a changeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she's, like, got you just in the corner of her eye.
I blatantly lock eyes with her the way that you sometimes do when you know someone is staring at you, and I just smile.
Mask.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go. You're in a conversation.
She literally just says "your" and then just lets it trail off.
Yes. Probably whatever you were thinking, yes.
All right, then. And she slides the drinks your way, and when you put coin down, she just puts your hand, she slaps your hand back onto the coins and slides them back your way. Your friend was very good at performing tonight.
Oh, she absolutely was.
So we'll call,
always is.
We'll call the drinks on the house for tonight.
And I hint my head, give it a little nod. I'm gonna like take the tray and like bring it up so that everybody's got their drinks. Because at this point, I feel like I know what everybody likes, you know?
Yeah.
Tempest helps out also, and then turns to Mask as we walk away and says, Mask, this is well, I don't want to say a new look for you, but a look I'm not familiar with.
So, alright. Let me see if I can explain this in a nutshell. I'm a changeling. I can look like whatever I want to. That means I can change my anatomy to include wings if I want to. I can have extra fingers like our friend did over there. I gesture to the bard. You know, it means a lot of things. But mostly what it means is in most settlements I'd be run out on a rail or tethered to a stake and burned to death. Apparently that isn't the case here. I was taking a huge risk coming in my actual face. This is what I really look like.
Oh, well, I'm happy to finally meet you as you actually look like. And believe me, I know exactly about being run out of town and threatened to be burned at the stake. It's something, you know, only the best of us have to worry about.
It's a little bit different for me because all of those other faces are also what I actually look like. They're just what I actually look like walking as any of those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it can, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just starting to get comfortable with that.
Well, I just want you to know that feel free to be whoever you are around me.
Okay, I will. Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
All right, we should get these up there. Our friends are probably thirsty.
Yeah.
And so we'll probably like come up the steps like laughing like old friends, because that's just definitely the mood that Mask has right now.
Okay. And Anu, because you also are a moon elf, one of the first things you'll recognize is the choker that this moon elf wears is a wedding necklace, and it is a symbol that she is betrothed, but and or married. But what's interesting about her necklace is it has 2 charms. So it doesn't have just one. Also, you're muted if you aren't meaning to be muted.
Oh, great. Oh, I said she's married twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to point out that I love the necklace.
And she touches it for a moment and she says, well, thank you very much. I am very fortunate to have the partners that I do, both for dance and other things. And she looks to the changeling and then the gargoyle. So, I'm curious, what are you doing here? I mean, not that it's like moon elves are uncommon around here, but usually we travel in groups of our families unless we don't get along with them. And she's leaning like just a little bit closer with each word she says, as she's clearly examining everything you wear to figure you out. Because moon elves are very expressive with clothing. Clothing means something.
I get along fine just with my family. It's just I was needed elsewhere.
Oh. Are you one of the chosen ones?
No, that's not in this group. I'm not the chosen one in this group.
Wisp boggles and gives Anu a dirty look.
So you're not one of the avatars.
I don't know. I got a dragon. Does that count?
It most certainly does. So you are one of the avatars.
No, I'm just me. I got lucky.
You see her sort of like narrow her eyes at you, trying to suss you out again. All right. I've just never met one of you before. There's 2,000 of you. You'd think that I would have encountered one, but no. Okay. And
You want to meet my dragon?
You would allow me to meet your dragon?
It's just a small little thing.
I would be so honored.
And I call it out, but it has to look like a little Bible.
If you can picture, like, the biggest fan of an anime seeing their favorite voice actor for their favorite character for the first time, that is her face. She looks at the dragon, and her glowing eyes actually brighten in luminosity as she just stares wide-eyed at this thing. It's so beautiful.
I know, right?
Small?
I made it myself.
Of course you did. This is incredible. Does it have a name?
It does. And I call him Nuka.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember. Yeah,
Nuka.
it's Nuka.
Nuka. That's a very noble name. So fascinating. And, Nim. The changeling leans over to you with their hand on their face like this and just You're very quiet.
Oh, well, yes. 'Tis best to remain silent, lest you open your mouth and remove all doubt that you are a bit of an idiot. I have to say that I do feel I'm a bit on my heels in this arena. Not in a bad way. I just it's so interesting. There's so many people. I'm excited to chat with you. And then she just grabs a drink and like.
They put their finger just like on the table, very close to you, and lock eyes with you and say, "It takes a very, very smart person to play dumb well."
And then Nim just kind of sits back. Well, you never know what's going to be expected of you in a new environment, so, you know.
You're right. You don't. And then they just sort of like sit back on the chair and take a very pointed sip of their beverage. And Masquerade and Tempest arrive right about now.
I want to motion to Mask.
I'm going to pointedly put Nim's drink in front of her first and smile, just this side of tersely, and take the seat beside her.
Okay.
Bodyguard mode.
Tempest sits down next to them.
Okay.
Mask, Tempest, this is my new friend. I'm sorry, friend, what did you say your name was?
Lyrical. They, them.
Okay, this is Lyrical. I am Nim.
Nim.
Masquerade.
Masquerade. Ooh, I like that. Did you pick that?
I did.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
Wisp. Any pronouns?
Tempest.
And then their eyes turn to Anu, being the only one who hasn't introduced themselves. I don't know if you choose to introduce yourself or not.
Wait, me?
You, yes.
Oh, I thought the conversation with the dragon was introduced. Okay.
Well, like name introduction.
Oh, okay. You guys gave fake names, right? Because we're not supposed to give our real names anymore.
Well, you're assuming Wisp has been my real name from the start, and that's your assumption.
That's fair. Anyway, I'm A.
A. That's my favorite letter of the alphabet.
It's because it's number one.
Oh, it's number one in your language too. Interesting.
You lot are very fascinating. In a very specific way. You have a touch of, I don't know, maybe destiny, maybe something else like destiny. I don't know. I like it.
So do I most of the time. Admittedly, some days it's not great.
Keeps things interesting at very least.
That.
We kind of bring interesting times with us.
Oh. So you are. You. And they point to, let's see who. Nim. Come with me. And they stand up and walk down a hallway.
I'm sorry. Not to be disrespectful, where are we going? And then I just lean over to Mask. I don't want to go with a stranger to a second location.
I proceed to sort of lean back in my seat and just put an arm around Nim, but like trying to make it clear to Nim that this is very much in the like I'm joining the bit kind of way and being like if she's going, I'm going.
And they pause for just a minute. I want you to give me an intimidation check.
All right. I don't actually know if I'm good at this. I am good at this. Oh, damn, I'm very good at this. 24.
Ah!
You see them pause very briefly and tap their lips. And as they tap their lips, their nails keep changing colors and the patterns in their makeup start swirling to become a moon set instead of a sunset.
And in response, as if part of that communication, I start, like, changing my eye color.
All right, you both can come, I guess.
And I look to Nim to see if that's good enough.
And Nim just nods and stands.
Okay.
Have fun.
And
Not too much.
they enter one of the rooms off to the side and leave the door open behind them.
And I will follow Nim.
Okay. When you enter the room, the door shuts behind you, and you see Lyrical leaning on a table, and they reach into this side pocket of underneath their vest, and they produce a card that has their likeness on it.
Is it a tarot card?
It is.
I'll
Can
draw
we
mine.
see what kind it is as we draw ours?
So, theirs is actually completely blank except for their name.
Now that's fascinating.
Right? But
It's the rest of our crew too, by the way.
that's what it was. Well, frankly speaking, I knew I could take you two, but I didn't know if I could take the lot of you, and I just wanted to be safe. You understand.
Should we go get them?
Maybe, but first I want to show you something. And maybe you can tell me what it means.
Okay.
Because David and Janice don't have one. But this. And they shift their entire self to a human visage now. Still can't really discern any kind of gender differences or like sex differences, but very like long blonde hair and fair features, like high charisma sort of thing. And when they do, the name on the card shifts and the visage also shifts to appear like the human. And it says the 8 of Cups.
Ooh.
Ah.
But it gets weirder.
All right.
And they shift to a dwarven form. This dwarf has purple eye gems and this purple shard sticking out of their shoulder. And you see that the visage changes once again. And it is now the 8 of Swords.
Oh, now that's fascinating. I have no idea what's going on with this, but I would love to find out.
But here's the bit I really need to find out about. And maybe your party might have encountered this if you haven't. Have you dealt with this old woman in a bog before?
Oh my
So
goodness.
many of them.
Our aunt, you've met our aunt. Our great aunt, really.
You're
But she's your great aunt, too.
Yeah. Oh, we've got so much to fill you in on about that.
And then Nim just shifts her face into blank kind of changeling form.
Oh.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
interesting.
I like to, for diplomatic reasons, a specific form has, traditionally served me. Maybe someday I'll feel comfortable like this, but, for now, I think it's safest to just... And then she switches back.
That's
I
fair.
proceed to human mode for a moment, like that same kind of dark-skinned, aquiline nose, like very Grecian-looking man with the ponytail, and I'm like, this is how I usually walk, but I had a feeling about this town, and then go back to gray.
Yeah. Just so we're clear, I don't know that woman. All I know is she said she can't mess with me.
Right.
That's correct.
We've sort of got an understanding of how that works, and we would be glad to share it with you.
Great. If you are confident that your friends are in on all of this, feel free to bring them in. And maybe bring in Janice and David while you're at it.
Okay. Nim, are you comfortable staying here while I go and fetch them?
Oh, yes. Now that I know that I'm with a cousin, and we've talked about the family a little bit.
And again, there's the very visible masquerade dying a little inside, and he just sort of withdraws from the room to go fetch everybody else.
I don't know about this aunt thing, but, that, I don't know. And you can go get everybody. If anyone doesn't come in, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm in.
All right.
I'm not going to miss the party.
What? Okay. So, they will catch you up to speed on all of this. And, you notice that, also interestingly, whereas a lot of changelings will sort of, masquerade, and Nim, you would know this, you sort of pick a sort of visage that tends to work for you, like skin tone, eye color generally stay the same or similar.
Oh, yeah.
That is not the case with Lyrical at all. Lyrical's visages shift wildly in every single capacity. Their elven visage, weirdly, is missing an arm.
There's the hell out of that, all of that.
There's, there's a lot of very unique distinctions about the way Lyrical shifts versus the way that you and Nim shift. And it feels almost like it's significantly more freeform.
Hella. Alright, so I'm gonna, bring everybody back into the room unless you guys have things you want to talk about before we get there.
I mean, the main thing Wisp would have done would have been to be clear to get the names of the other two, since that hadn't happened at the time they went off. But other than that, that's probably all that would have really been covered, aside from general flirting.
Okay, Anu, the thing that will ring to you is that Janice chose her name. That is not an elven name.
Interesting.
So, you guys all get to the room. Lyrical catches you up to speed on the tarot card that they possess and how David and Janice don't have one and have never encountered this old woman in the bog who Lyrical's a good 80% sure is probably a hag.
And I will clarify, yes, she is.
I will pull out my card as well.
Oh. Does yours shift or change?
Not that I'm aware of. Just, it's just been bothering me trying to figure out what the hell it wants from me.
Huh. Well, there is one other thing that's come with the card. I know what everybody looks like. Not you, Lot. I can't figure you out. But everyone without one of these, I can see if they're using a glamour or if they are shape changed. I can spot a druid in the forest.
That's very interesting, because if I recall correctly, 8s are about movement.
Yeah, also I suddenly got freer in this. And they just sprout a dozen fingers on each hand and then just pop them all back in.
Now that tracks.
Oh, Steven, I want to backtrack on just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have brought Charlie along into this part of the thing, I think, but I would have left him with a coin purse and been like, just shout my name if something goes wrong.
Oh, you know what? I temporarily spaced about Charlie not going with Asana. So, because I had him mixed up with the other one in my head. Or did Charlie go with Asana?
No, Ben went with Asana.
Ben went with Asana. That's right. Okay. So, yeah. We'll say that Charlie just decided to knock out in one of the chairs because he is plumb tuckered out. It's been a lot.
Fair. He had a warlock try to kill him. That's very fair.
So
yeah, he probably needs to be resheathed.
So Lyrical looks at all of you and then looks to Janice and David almost longingly and says, I'm worried because they don't have these. And I don't want to be pulled into something. I can't be pulled into something. I mean, we travel all the time, but I've never been to another world like that, and I can't leave them. And you see that the two of them also just like look really longingly as well as they kind of come on either side of them and just hold them.
Well, we travel a lot too, and as far as we know, we're not trying to gather everybody that has one of these. I can't make any real promises, but I can promise you that we can try not to drag you into anything if we can avoid it. I'm gonna look at the others questioningly as if you guys are alright, like yes, no.
Nods.
Here's the other thing I've seen. There's two other things I've seen. There's a rock underground, and I see it in my dreams. And
what color is it?
It's not even hardly a color. It's like it's just darkness as a crystal. And it's immediately next to eggs. It's all around a bunch of eggs. And there's like an egg on a pedestal, and it's maybe not an egg, it might be a gemstone. It's red, it glows.
I mean, rocks do lay eggs.
So
not here, they don't, Tempest.
So
I mean, they're big birds, right?
the kind of rock in question, it's called Ebon Shade. It neutralizes magic. There's a good chance that the eggs you're talking about are magical in nature, and if I'm gonna throw out a hypothesis right now, which I am because I have absolutely no filter today for some reason, I'm gonna guess they're probably like phoenix eggs or something. Just hazarding a guess. I don't actually know, but that's where I'm going to put my copper pieces at this moment.
That would be my assumption as well. When you see this, do you get a sense of where it is?
Below us, and when I see it, I feel sick. Like I'm gonna throw up sick.
Is there anything else? Is there anything alive down there? Or moving, if not alive?
How did you know?
Bad experiences and pessimistic instincts.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's horrible. It has 4 arms and big wings, and they start describing it, and a new Masquerade, Nim, and Wisp, you immediately get that imagery evoked of those things that were swooping and scooping up people back in that town forever ago. Those Umber spawn.
Those,
yeah.
The corrupted gargoyles.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not good. That's probably one shard of Ebon Shade I should leave well enough alone.
Wait, why?
Well, if it's going to hatch those corrupted things that are trying to snatch people out of the sky and everything, that's not good news for anyone.
But why would we want it to make more?
I don't think the Ebon Shade is going to propagate itself. I think it's stopping the eggs from hatching. What I don't understand is why it would need to stop those from hatching.
Just in-universe thing, Stephen. Are gargoyles hatched from eggs?
Yes.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
So they could just be normal gargoyles then.
They could be, and even if they aren't, there's every possibility that this corruption could spread. I understand that when we dealt with the Umber Horde, it wasn't spawning from Ebon Shade, but that was the context in which we dealt with these sorts of things before.
Oh,
and
no, the Ebon Shade was... Sorry.
That stuff spread. It did not keep to itself.
It was absolutely stopping it from spreading. It's not a good idea to neutralize every bit of Ebon Shade we find, because some of it really is keeping the world from being overrun. What we need to figure out is whether or not that's the case this time.
I did see one other person down there. But you're not gonna like who it is.
I want to know who it is, and I want to know why you know that.
It's their king. Here, this one. They're whatever they call him. The Airmeister or something. I think his name is Corm.
Crom.
No, they're king. Here.
Wait, you mean the gargoyles here in the city?
Yes, the one who's in charge of the city. I've seen him down there. Fleeing whatever that thing that's down there is.
Then we'll need to speak with him. You have been in the city for a while, right?
A few days.
But long enough to know that if I keep walking around like this, they're not gonna, run me out on a rail?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then that's that. I'll just stay as I am.
There's actually a burg here.
Really?
A slum. If you're interested.
Oh, I'm very interested. I would like to know if you found anything like that anywhere else as well. As far as I know, we don't have somewhere to go back to. I was raised by a human. I don't know.
Well, you might not want to find this one then.
Go on.
They live underground here. In a city erected in one of the unused passages of maybe catacombs, maybe sewers. I'm not really sure what it is down there, to be honest. I don't want to go and look. I can't go and look.
And by that same logic, I have to.
I wish you luck. And
do you want me to let you know what I find there, or only if it's good?
I don't know what I want. I want to not have this card. I want to go back to my life with my husband and my wife and just be.
You should be able to do that. If that's what you're choosing to do, then you should be able to do that, and I'll do everything in my power to make sure that happens. But I need to know. More than anything, I need to know.
Well then, you go.
I will.
Be careful.
I promise.
If they have us living down there, I'm not saying that I've been attacked, but I am saying that people don't live there for no reason.
You think they were forced down there?
I don't know. I really don't. But I don't know many people that would choose to go underground like that in a cluster of others like them.
I am going to keep walking like this, and then I look at the rest of the party, and I'm going to say, and I'm trusting all of you to let them, like, to make sure that they don't cart me off. But
Let 'em try.
I need to know if they'll try.
Okay.
Okay,
Be careful.
always.
That's a lie.
You're right. It is. It absolutely isn't. I'm sorry. And I just grin.
Wisp is going to turn back to our new changeling friend. I understand that you don't want this. And if it was in my power to take it from you, I would. How much this steers your life is not predetermined. The fact that it's in your life can't be helped. You don't have to give yourself over to it.
That.
You say that like you really know it.
She does.
I've been through more than I would have the time to say. And a lot of it I would not have chosen for myself. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to steer it the best that I can.
Okay. Then I'll do the same. And, I don't care that you have one of those cards. You are welcome to dance with us anytime still.
I hope to.
Be careful. All of you.
You too.
Actually, and they reach into their pouch and they unroll this sort of like, it's kind of like a leather sleeping bag, but it has little pockets and it has a total of 6 vials in it that are like slotted in there, and each one has a red effervescent liquid. David here, I'm sort of something of an apothecary, so you might find these more useful than we do. They're mostly for minor injuries and things, but if we can help you.
Much appreciated.
So you guys have 6 standard healing potions.
So that's 1 apiece, and who wants 2?
I nominate Nim.
I was gonna say. That was, yes.
I was gonna say, can I have it? Because I'm gonna die soon. I can feel it.
So you said standard healing potion?
Mm-hmm. They are considered major, I think.
Major healing potion.
I think they're considered major in D&D Beyond. They're the 44 plus 4. Not 44, but 4 dice 4.
Yeah.
4 triangles plus 4.
Like, the fact that they call them D something and then, like, numbers are T something is,
Yeah.
it's asinine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. That's what you guys have got from them. And, it is actually, about, afternoon at this point. So, just past noon. You guys had a dance, you guys had a good conversation, some libations, day drinking, you know, all the things you're not supposed to do.
Says who?
And, yeah, the day is yours.
Yeah. All I want to do is go out and tempt fate, so I'm gonna, like, politely request to be last this time.
Okay. Roll a d20 for me.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a 6.
6. So you encounter a woman. She's human. She has like mid-tone skin. She's very gaunt and clearly older, just judging by her shaky, gnarled hands. She holds out a cup to you. She has a dirty cloth tied around her eyes. She's clothed in primarily rags. And she holds up the cup to you and just says, "Alms for the poor."
I drop a gold piece in it and continue on my way.
Okay. So you drop a gold piece in it, and you hear the plink just like echo briefly, and you stop, and you find yourself in what you would recognize at this point as like a vision dream thing. And you see the old woman standing before you, and her entire persona just melts away into this maybe early 20s woman who's just wrapped in leaves.
Oh, hello.
You are a very kind soul. One of the few around here.
To be fair, I did have it to spare. It wasn't really a big sacrifice on my part.
It doesn't have to be. You did a kindness. And that, in this world, dear child, is a very rare and precious thing. And she approaches and just kisses you on the forehead. And then you are back where you were. And you can add a d12 to any one roll you want.
Hell yeah. Cool. I will write that down because I'm saving that, Steven.
And that doesn't expire either. It doesn't.
Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Okay.
So that is a non-expiring inspiration. Like Bardic Inspiration style. Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
So, yeah, you guys watch Masquerade plink a little thing into this beggar lady's cup, and then pauses briefly, and then continues walking.
I mean, I'm going to stick close to Mask. I'm not going to let them out of my sight.
Okay.
Yeah, I am genuinely, like, trying to draw down trouble on purpose.
Okay, well, that was your roll, because you rolled for an encounter in the city.
Fair enough.
And you find this big, it's almost like the size of a door, a proper door, but it has where this street sort of concaves to allow for water flow. And there's this acrid water flowing between the bars and toward the harbor. And
this looks like a sewer outlet. Bet that leads underground.
What an interesting smell you've discovered.
It is, isn't it?
so, you go in?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Alright. I just
Going in, huh?
wanted to be sure.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I like the thing I'm looking for is underground. I need to. I have to do this.
Okay. Alright.
Tempest close shift. Again, you know, to large watertight boots. And just heavy, very form-fitting, and sealed kind of look to keep muck and grime off of her. Something shiny that can be rinsed off later.
Okay. Okay. Alright. So, let me see, is this the right one? Oh yeah, that's the right one. So, you guys make your way into the tunnels of this sewer, and the smell is absolutely god's awful. I need everyone to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Well, first of all, before we came down here, I'm going to do what I've done previously, which is use prestidigitation to put like the scent of flowers under my own nose.
Oh,
I also
absolutely.
have prestidigitation. Can I avoid that roll that way as well?
Yes, you can.
don't believe I have prestidigitation. Let me look. I do not, but luckily, anyone around me gets +6 to their Constitution check anyways.
Hey.
Yay. I got a 12.
12.
I
Okay.
wasted a 19 on this. 19 plus 8.
Okay.
27.
What did Nim get?
A natural 1.
Oh no!
Nim, you immediately upchuck the entire contents of your stomach, including that half-eaten cinnamon roll, into the water, and it is pretty painful.
Prestidigitation being a cantrip, I'm gonna go ahead and cast it again and then apologize for not having thought to do so sooner.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. It has nothing to do with the smell. I think it's the day drinking and the cinnamon rolls and all the sea travel, and then also the smell and all of this.
Yeah, no, I thought it might have been. Sorry, I'm sure it won't smell this way once we get to where we're going.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, by the way, once we get there, do you want them to know, or do I keep that on the down low?
I trust your judgment. If you think it's safe, then
Okay.
we can let them know.
Okay.
Want to know what?
Oh, that's right. You didn't see.
And Nim just smiles at Tempest and does like the changeling face and goes back.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I guess.
Oh no, that's okay. I keep it a secret mostly. It's I don't know. It's a form that I guess is me, but is also this has been me for so long. Maybe I don't really know who I am, but for now this feels comfortable.
The point
Well.
is, if you didn't know this because she didn't want you to yet.
Well, that. Okay, that's fine. Well, be whatever you want to be around me. It's important that people be whatever they want to be.
Thank you, Tempest. Thank you.
And whoever wants to can roll a d20 for me.
I'll do it.
Okay.
17.
17. Just a second here. You see a pair
really?
of eyes gleaming from the darkness at you around a corner and scurry down one of the offshoot tunnels. They're about waist height, if that matters.
How far away are they?
Like 130 feet.
No, just out of Devil Sight range. Okay.
Well,
There is another offshoot in the opposite direction.
I would be more inclined to go in the direction that thing went than to go who knows where.
Okay. All right, so at the first major branching, you take a right. And you can now see a shadowed, maybe humanoid, hunched form as it scurries down another corridor. There is another branch off to the other side.
So can we tell what kind of humanoid this is?
Make a perception roll at disadvantage unless you have dark sight or devil sight or anything of that nature.
Oh, I definitely don't.
The only person with Devil's Sight has a terrible wisdom.
Oh, 6.
6. Can't tell.
All right,
It
Tempest.
might not even be humanoid, to be honest. It might just be bipedal.
18 minus 1 is 17.
17. You see it.
Ooh.
It's a child with stark white skin, sort of hunched and hiding, and just scurries away as quick as they can.
A human child?
No, a changeling child.
Ooh.
No, that would be something to continue to follow then if we're trying to find where they are.
Indeed.
I have good news and bad news.
Give me the good news first.
I think we've seen a changeling.
And the bad news?
That was it.
I go that way. I follow.
Okay.
Little one, hold on.
And they stop at the end of another corridor divider.
Just wait long enough to see me. I am like you.
And then they run away again.
I continue following. I'm gonna start running at that point and use the dash action.
Okay.
Wait. Do we have to worry about darkness, right? Do people have dark vision? Can people see at all in this?
I have dancing lights, so I would be having those a little bit ahead of me and lighting the way just to be sure I'm not stepping in a hole or whatever.
Then you see that the walls and floor are very shiny down here. They seem to have some sort of like muck or something just coating them. And Masquerade, you took the dash action, so make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. That's one of the ones I'm good at. As a matter of fact, it's the one I'm best at. 19, and the roll wasn't even that good.
Okay, so yeah, you don't slip or slide in the muck at all. You easily navigate your way after this child, and you can catch this child real quickly if you want to.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna, get on top of the child or anything. I am intentionally following at a slight distance so that I don't lose them, but that I'm not, in their personal space.
Okay. So, by the time you catch up to them, you round a corner, and as you round the corner, instead of stone steps, you feel metal beneath your feet, like a metal grate. And you see there is now a labyrinth of stairways spiraling downward into this purple and green lit area. It's like these glowing stones, these glow stones that are sconced in at different tents and mud huts and things like that built all around this spiral that goes deeper and deeper down.
Is there railing?
There is railing.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab the railing and sort of lean over and look at all of these huts, and then I pause because the individual child wasn't as important as finding this.
Mm-hmm. You see, there are people like you everywhere here.
I have never seen anything like this before.
Welcome.
And that. Sorry, that shows on their face for a moment. They're just looking at all of these doors and the people walking below, and it's just it's like a minor miracle, really.
Welcome to the Undercroft of Darkwing Hold.
Oh my god, this is very cool.
So, yeah, you see, well, there's primarily purples and greens down here. There are other colors. There's blues, there's yellows, there's oranges, and even some reds and pinks. But the predominant colors you're seeing down here are purple and green. Everything is cast in it. And what's really interesting to you is when you see these people presenting, they don't present anything like you would imagine another humanoid race presenting. While their clothes are very humble, their tattoos, their makeup, everything about their skin, their nails is vivid and colorful and intricate and expressive and shifting at a moment's notice. It's really quite interesting. And you watch as they interact with one another. It's almost like watching someone who incorporates sign language into their spoken language, but instead it's on their skin.
I am immediately fascinated by this, and that fascination turns to a deep purple color because I'm just immediately falling into it and like just latching onto this method of communication. Like, I feel like I've come home for the first time ever. And it shows on Masquerade's face.
Just for reference, Stephen, is there anything down here other than changelings?
Make a perception check. The rest of you see this too now, by the way.
8.
So there are other races at different points, which shift into changelings pretty quickly.
Figures.
Steven, okay, so like tell me if this is even possible, but what I want to do right now is like put together a facade that's like a patchwork of other species. Like, I want the wings, but I also want to like create maybe like a gem tone somewhere on my body. I want to like just like straight up Picasso like pieces of things, like my favorite pieces of things, and just like I don't want it to match. I don't want it to match at all. I want to just like break the rules because I can here.
So I'm going to say that with the way this world works, you know what internalized homophobia and that kind of concept, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
There's a similar concept when it comes to changelings in this world. And without realizing it, you may find that you have some of that. So I'm going to require you to either make an insight roll with a DC for yourself, or you can choose to make a persuasion roll.
I'm going to go with insight.
Okay. So your DC for this roll is 8 plus your
25.
proficiency bonus plus your charisma.
Yeah, that's still wait, hold on. Insight is usually wisdom. What's charisma? Yeah, it's the same thing. It's still 25.
Okay. So you can do this.
So I'm gonna go with, yeah, I can do this, but like also tears are happening because like I wasn't expecting it at all, and it's just kind of like something has just clicked into place, right? Like this is not an insignificant moment for Masquerade.
And Nim, you see all this happening. What is your response? What is Nim feeling as she sees all of this?
So is supremely overwhelmed and is trying to just find a little corner to sit in and look, just take it in.
Okay. Yeah, and you are taking this in, and it is a lot to take in. And for those of you who are not changelings, this probably even is... It's definitely more foreign than you're used to, just the notion of talking through your skin as a part of your language. It's really sort of this new thing that even Wisp, in your vast travels, you've never seen anything like this.
Steven.
Mm-hmm.
The pair of wings that I craft, I want them to, like, at least in hue, look like stained glass. Can I do that?
You can do that. You made a good
that
enough
is
roll.
what I'm doing.
You can absolutely do that.
I never knew that this existed.
And
I never knew something like this could exist.
I'm so sorry. There should always be a place for people to be with people like themselves.
No, don't be sorry. This is wonderful. I may be finding it late, but I'm finding it, and that means something.
And both Masquerade and Nim, you guys are not getting looks, but the other three are absolutely getting looks down here.
I'm gonna, like, take a step and, like, fan my wings out as if to protect them.
You make an insight roll for me. 9. So you're missing the nuance here, but you can definitely tell there is fear when looking at Wisp or Anu or Tempest.
Oh.
They don't feel with you and Nim because of how you're presenting. And specifically, like, the adults are, like, shielding their children, and a couple are reaching for weapons, but, like, nobody's actively attacking you. They just are scared.
I'm gonna fold my wings around my shoulders. I'll take a step back. I'll offer a hand to Wisp.
I will take it. I'm like, look, I know when I'm not welcome. We can go for now.
I wouldn't ask you to do that. This'll be okay. Nobody's actually attacking us, and when they know that you're okay, it'll be okay. I get this. I do.
Mask, the reaction that they're giving us isn't just an in-case reaction. It's an instilled reaction out of necessity. Us
right.
being here is going to take away from what this is for you, and I don't want that.
All right. That's fair. I'm sorry.
You
It
don't
happens
have
all
to
the
be
time.
sorry.
Happens all the time. I'm used to it.
See, that's what I'm sorry for.
No, it's fine.
Look, you can fill us in later.
Okay.
I don't want to dampen this for you. So we'll
All
head
right,
back out the
I'll
way
find
we
you.
came. You know how to reach us.
Yes.
All right. And I will turn and have the dancing lights lead me back out.
Okay. What about
Yep.
Nim?
Nim is kind of just in shock. She sees her friends leaving but doesn't really react. Then she takes a couple steps closer to Mask and puts her hand on Mask's shoulder and just says, Is this home?
It's as close to it as we've ever had.
Everyone is... I mean, Are these all cousins?
You know what? In the way that you use it, yeah, that's exactly what this is.
Should we
Yes.
introduce ourselves? What do we do? This is a family reunion. How are we supposed to behave? What is the correct way to
Can I pick you
talk? Yes.
So I'm gonna, like, pick up Nim in a bridal carry and then just, like, glide to the bottom of the staircase. I'm gonna, like, jump over the edge and just, like, glide down.
Okay. So you get to the bottom, and the bottom is actually, you start to realize those who are less mobile or who are maybe older or those who would frequent the surface and have surface goods tend to be towards the top. And as you go deeper and deeper in, you're getting more and more houses, fewer and fewer businesses, if you could call them that. Stands and kiosks are close, but still not accurate to just how humble these facades are.
And I am fascinated the whole way down.
And you get to the bottom, and you see an individual who looks very much like you when you are presenting just as you're gray. This individual has no ornamentation. They do not have makeup or tattoos or anything, and look significantly older than anyone else you've seen. And they approach you. Who are you?
Masquerade. This is Nim. How can you tell which ones of us are us? We don't know how to do that. We just got here.
I can teach you that, but I need to ask you something first.
Please.
Were you sent here, or did you find us?
We found you.
All right. If you want to learn how to spot others of us, you can, but it's a way of life, and it will take a few years, probably.
don't know if I have that kind of time right now, but can we come back?
You are always welcome here. This is our place, but be aware that if you come at certain times, we may not be here.
Okay.
We may be there.
Where is there?
There is not here.
Okay.
But this will get you there. And they hand you a small, it's framed like a piece of jewelry, but you recognize this as a pure monocrystal inside.
Okay.
And this one is pink.
So, are we here on purpose? They didn't force us down here.
We are here because it's where we're allowed to be us.
Okay.
We aren't welcome as our full free selves out there, here, yet. But we are at home. This goes home from time to time. Home being there.
Okay, I am very interested in learning about there.
And Nim just nods aggressively.
But when you go there, you need to have your name, your real name, kept secret and safe, away from others.
That's generally a default for me. I don't know about her.
You misunderstand, dear child.
Oh?
You may have chosen Masquerade, but Masquerade is you.
You know my name.
I know a lot of things, because I can see you, like I can see her, like I can see all of us. That's what takes years, child.
I think I follow. I don't understand, but I do follow.
Right now, this is for you, but it's not where you need to be. And I understand that. And I think you do too.
I do.
You're looking for this. And they hand you a map through the entire system, the entire network of the Undercroft.
I'll move to show Nim.
Find the clutch. But be careful.
Do you know what we need to do with it when we find it?
There, and they look upward. Their ruler knows more about it, but they are trying to keep the eggs from hatching. And they will die out if they do this. Eventually.
So, then the right thing to do is to devour the Ebon Shade.
Well, I didn't say that either. You need to go there and see it for yourself. But be careful. There are things down here. They don't hurt us. But part of why we are here is to keep them from getting out to them.
So they're not allowed, right? That's what you're getting at?
Whatever those things are, they were people once. Once upon a time. Like so many of them. But down here there is also the beacon. And the beacon, I believe, must be moved. Because the thing that keeps the clutch from hatching is also preventing the beacon.
I see. Okay, so we definitely need to get a look. Is there a way to get through here around this place so that my friends aren't disturbing our people?
That's why you have this. And they tap the map that they gave you.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll
take care of it. Yes, yes. I'll definitely try. She's good at that. I'm not.
Don't let them bite you.
Oh no, we know better.
If they bite us, something far worse happens.
Oh.
Then what will happen to the others you came with?
I hadn't considered that.
What do you mean by far worse?
Those things, those beings of hunger, they eat and they eat and they don't think. But we, our people, our ancestors, have a sort of deal that keeps us safe from certain elements of it. But it still changes us and turns us into something far worse because those think. Be careful.
I'll do my best.
And you two blink, and suddenly this person is just not there.
I'm gonna learn that someday too.
That would be very handy if you run into somebody at the, at the store and you don't want to talk to them, or somebody's asking you a question you don't want to answer. I need to learn that now.
I'm just gonna turn over my shoulder and grin at Nim.
So you guys do have a map. So I'm only going to need a single survival check.
I think Nim should do it.
Yeah. Mine's a +6.
Okay.
Let's see. I would like to use my inspiration.
You can use your inspiration.
Let's use the red dice, not the black this time. 8.
8.
Yeah, this is not good.
So, you guys are walking through the sewers following this map. And you're following it pretty well. But that's when you turn a corner just before you're supposed to get to the place where the clutch is. Yes, Robin.
We got the rest of the party before we started, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys all gathered up.
Oh.
You guys all gathered up. You all follow the map. And just as you get just before where the clutch is, you see 5 of these things. These massive, hulking monsters with 2 sets of bat-like wings covered in holes. 4 arms with long tendrilled claws. These are trolls. These are what gargoyles become when they are Umber spawn. So we are going to open next time with a battle.
God damn it, Steven. I'm fine with this, though.
So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for our romp into Darkwing Hold and the Undercroft. And we'll see if everybody survives next weekend. Not next week, in 2 weeks. So, yeah. Until then, tell your story your way. Bye, everybody.